Hello, what's up guys? Today we're going to do this October 2025 42 chemistry. Let's look at the first question. Complete the table. This one is so easy. Particle arrangement for solid is regular arrangement. The particle motion, they can only vibrate at fixed position. For liquid, the particle separation is touching each other. The particle arrangement is random. Particle motion also random. Okay, so for gas particle separation, so easy. They are far apart. Okay, 3 marks. B. Substance can physically change. In the physical change from solid to liquid, it's melting. So easy. Gas to liquid, condensation. Solid to aqueous is dissolving. So easy, even my grandmother can do all this, bruh. Question C, gases diffuse. Describe in terms of particles why gases diffuse. Because of the random motion of particles. Okay, the particles of gases, they are free to move in all directions. That's why they can diffuse easily. C2, state what determines relative rate of diffusion at constant temperature. So it is relative molecular mass. Okay, the heavier the particles, the slower it diffuses. So D, gaseous oxides of nitrogen, blah blah. State 2, other adverse effects of oxide of nitrogen. So other than acid rain, the nitrogen oxide also will cause photochemical smoke. Okay, the next one, it might also cause respiratory problems. So easy. Okay, question E, in a catalytic converter, blah blah blah. Name the toxic gases product of incomplete combustion. Okay, students, every time if you see incomplete combustions, okay, it will produce carbon monoxide. Okay. E2, name 2 non-toxic gas formed in catalytic converter. So it will convert carbon monoxide into carbon dioxide. Okay, and the nitrogen oxide will convert into nitrogen. Yeah, it was done the first question, so easy. Now go to question number 2. Iron is extracted from the iron ore. See the name of main ore used in the blast furnace. So iron, the ore is hematite. Number 2, state how the main source of heat is provided. Okay, so this is the first equation in the hematite process, which we burn the coke, okay, to produce the heat. So this one is burning of coke. Number 3, name the gaseous reducing agent. Okay, so reducing agent in this blast furnace, it is carbon monoxide, the CO. Okay, number 4, show the simple equation. Okay, so how this carbon monoxide reduce the hematite, which is your iron trioxide? So we have Fe2O3 plus the carbon monoxide. It will reduce to iron plus carbon dioxide, and then we just need to balance the equation. So 3CO and then 2Fe, 3CO2. Okay, so simple equation, Fe2O3 is aqueous, CO gas, Fe is in molten state. Okay, so this one is aqueous too, and this is gas. So easy. Okay, next, the main impurity of iron ore is silicon dioxide. Write 2 simple equations show the role of limestone in removing silicon dioxide. Okay, so limestone, first step, it will thermodecompose into the calcium oxide. So CaCO3 thermodecompose CO plus CO2. Okay, so once we got this CO, we can react it with the silicon dioxide, SiO2, and they will form CaSiO3. Okay, this thing is also known as your slag. So easy. Question B. Action Y, A, B, C, D are isotopes of iron. So again, the isotopes are the atoms of the same element with same number of proton but different number of neutron. So easy. Even my dog can do this. Hell yeah. Question C. I'll go throughout the table, so easy. Okay, so proton number, you just refer to the periodic table and you get 26 for iron. So neutrons, we just have to use the nuclear number minus a proton. So this one we get 28, this one will be 32. Electrons, so this one is 2 plus. 2 plus means I have 2 less electrons. So this one is 24. This one 3 plus. So 26 minus 3, we have 23 electrons. Easy peasy. Okay, number 2, describe a test for Fe2 plus ions. Okay, so to test these positive ions, we have 2 tests. It's either sodium hydroxide or ammonia. Okay, so let's say this one I use the sodium hydroxide test. Okay, so the observations we'll get green, precipitate. Okay, so easy. Question D. An oxidizing agent converts F2 plus blah. Define the term oxidizing agent. Okay, so this one is easier. Every time you see the word agent, means like the person who help others to do some stuff, right? So this one, oxidizing agent, means you help others to get oxidized. Okay, so the definition is the substance that oxidize other substance, okay, and itself is reduced. Okay, they oxidize others. Okay, so itself is undergoing reduction. So easy. D2. Explain why conversion of F2 plus F3 plus is described as oxidation. Okay, so this one because it lose 1 electrons. Okay, the charge from 2 plus become 3 plus. So lose 1 electron. Easy peasy. Okay, the oxidizing agent, blah blah blah. Still one condition needed for this. Okay, so you can see this one. Our potassium manganate 7 is not acidified yet. So the condition here is acidify. Okay, we need to acidify this potassium manganate 7 in order to make it into oxidizing agent. Okay, E. Iodide ions reduce Fe2 plus to F2 plus, suggest identity of other product form. Okay, so if this one is reduced, then the I minus is being oxidized. Okay, because this is redox reaction. So I minus oxidized means it will lose electrons. So the product, it will be iodine. Done. Easy peasy. Great. Now, question 3. A student prepared insoluble salt, blah blah blah, all steps. Complete the simple equation. Okay. So this one, double decomposition. The first product, BSO4. This one will be insoluble salt, so solid state. And then the second product will be NaCl. It will be aqueous state, so balance this to NaCl. Okay, B. Calculate the mass of solid BaCl2 dissolved in the step 1. Okay, so first thing you have to calculate the molar mass of BaCl2. So this one you just refer to the periodic table and you add up everything. You should get a molar mass equals 208. So once we get this, okay, we already have the moles of BaCl2. So the formula moles equals to mass over molar mass. To calculate mass, use moles 0.1 times 208. We get 20.8 gram. Easy peasy. Okay, next the concentration 1.25. find the volume, okay, which contains this 0.1 moles of Na2SO4. So the formula for this will be N equals to CV. Okay, and we put in the values. The concentration is 1.25 multiplied with the volume. So we solve this. The volume will be 1.25, 0.08 dm cubed. Okay, so in order to change this into cm cubed, we have to multiply 1000, so we get 80 cm cubed. Done. Show I dry. Okay, state the color of the solid form in step 2. So step 2, where is it? Okay, so we form this BSO4. Okay, so BSO4, the barium is not a transition element. Okay, so students, remember, only transition element can form color compound. So since barium is not transition element, okay, so the solid form is always white color. So easy. Question E, the mixture is filtered in step 3, general term given to the solid left on the filter paper. So this is residue. 3 marks question, oh my god. Okay, question F, the actual mass of the dry is greater than expected mass. Suggest what a student should do in this additional step. Why my actual mass is greater? Okay, so this is because the students forgot to rinse the residue. Okay, rinsing the residue with distilled water. Okay, why? Because this residue, okay, it maybe still have a bit of this NaCl sticks to it. Okay, so we rinse it. This NaCl is dissolvable in water. Okay, so it will dissolve and flush off from our crystals, okay, the BSO4. So this one, say because the dry residue, okay, still contains your NaCl. Okay, that's why the mass is greater than the expected mass. Okay, easy peasy. G, state the name of this method of salt preparation. Okay, so this one is called precipitation. Okay, because we always get the precipitate in soluble salt. So easy. Okay, question H, state the name of a different barium salt that can be used in the place of BaCl2. Okay, so if you want to get if you want to get insoluble salt, you must prepare 2 soluble salt. Okay, so 2 soluble salt mixed together to give you insoluble salt. Okay, so first one, barium. Okay, what barium salt is 100% soluble? It's always your nitrate. So first one I use barium nitrate. Okay, 100% guaranteed soluble. Okay, next one, sulfate salt that can be used in place of Na2SO4. Okay, so another sulfate salt which is 100% soluble, it can be potassium sulfate. Okay, because potassium, sodium, they are 100% soluble. Okay, easy peasy. Barium salt that can be made by this method. Okay, so what barium salt can be made from this method? Okay, this method is precipitation. So we just have to give one more insoluble barium salt. Okay, so for example, all the carbonate salts are insoluble. So this one we use barium carbonate. Easy peasy. Good. Okay, question 4. State the formula of common cation produced when the acid dissociates in water. So acid, they are proton donor. They always give out this H+ ions. So easy. Okay, explain in terms of dissociation why nitric acid is strong. Because strong acid means complete dissociation. Okay, weak acid means partial dissociation. Easy peasy. Okay, question 3. State which of three acids have the highest pH value. Okay, so we know acid is pH less than 7. So pH 1 will give you the strongest acid. So highest pH value means they're asking for the weak acid. Okay, so the weak acid here will be ethanoic acid. Okay, state the color of thermophthalate. So thermophthalate only can use to test your alkali, and it will show blue color. Okay, so in neutral acid, it will show colorless. So easy. Number 5, give the formula of anion form. Okay, so anion is the negative ions. So sulfuric acid, we have SO4 2 minus. Okay, ethanoic acid. Ethanoic acid is actually CH3COOH. Okay, and previous questions we know acid always give out the H plus. So the H plus from ethanoic acid we can split like this. So this is your H plus. Okay, so everything in front here is your negative ions. So the answer will be CH3COO. The charge, they should balance. So if H is positive 1, this will be negative 1. Okay, so easy. Next, number 6, name 2 gaseous product formed during electrolysis of dilute sulfuric acid. Okay, so we have H plus, SO4 2 minus, and OH minus. Okay, so the gaseous form will be your H plus give out the hydrogen. Okay, negative ions will discharge the OH minus and it will produce oxygen. So easy. Next, name the salt form when calcium with ethanoic acid. Okay, so this one will form calcium ethanoate. Easy peasy. Next page, define the term base. So acid is proton donor, base is proton acceptor. Okay, AlOH3 is not an alkali. What tells you about the solubility? So alkali are bases that are soluble in water. So for this question, okay, I know that this AlOH3 is insoluble in water. So easy. Number 3, name one other compound which form aluminum nitrate when added to dilute nitric acid. Okay, so this one is aluminium oxide. So easy. Okay, next question. The oxidation number of O atom is -2, aluminium is 3 plus. Oxidation number, so this one, Al is positive 3, and then 3 plus with this N. Okay, instead of N, there's another 3 oxygen, so -2 times 3, and then there's 3 more of it, so we have to times 3 for this, and then equals, there's no charge for this whole compound, so 0. Okay, so we expand this, we get 3n minus 18 equals 0. So 3n equals to 18 minus 3, 15. So n is positive 5. Done. So easy. Okay, question 5. Blah blah blah. Describe 2 general characteristics of Longest series of alkanes. Okay, so first one, they have the same general formula. Okay, second, we can use the same method to prepare them. Okay, so same preparation method. So easy. Question B1. State the trend in boiling points as the carbon chain length increases. So if you got more carbon chain, means your size increase. When your size increase, there will be more covalent bond. So the boiling point will increases. Easy peasy. B2. Name one other physical property of alkanes that shows a trend. Okay. So other than boiling point, this one, let's say I write density. Okay. So density, as the carbon chain increase, your mass increase, so your density increases. Okay. So easy. decreases as carbon chain increases. Okay, next, state why alkanes are described as saturated. Okay, so saturated hydrocarbon means they contain only CC single bond. Okay, so easy. If unsaturated, okay, like alkenes, means they contain the double bond. Okay, so question down, okay, D1. State one condition needed for substitution reaction to take place. Okay, so substitution in your alkane reaction, you must have sunlight or UV light to happen. Okay, so ultraviolet light. Okay, give the structural formula and state the name of each organic compound formed. Structural formula of product 1. Okay, so this substitution, we just need to replace any one of the H, okay, from this propane with the halogen, the chlorine. Okay, so first one, let's say I replace the H from the last carbon, so I'll get CH3, CH2, and then CH2, Cl. Okay, and then the naming of this product, okay, we have to tell them the position of this Cl. Okay, so the Cl, you must choose the lowest possible number of your position of carbon. Okay, so even though this carbon, if you count from the left, is the third one, but if I count from the right side, this is my first carbon. Okay, so we need to pick the lowest number possible. So I'll write 1, the first carbon, and then chloropropane. Okay, so easy. So the second possible product is, okay, the Cl. Let's say replace the H on the second C. So we have this CH3, CHCl, CH3. Okay, so this Cl is linked to the second carbon now. So we have 2 chloropropane. Done. So easy. Okay, define the term structural isomers. So structural isomer means the compound with same molecular formula but different structural formula. Hell yeah! So easy, 6, 7. Anyway, question 6, 7. Okay, draw a circle around all the atoms which makes up the ester linkage. So ester linkage is the COO. This trait. Name compound E. So ester, we always start naming from the alcohol. The alcohol are the parts after the COO. So here, this one we only have 2C. So 2C is ethanol. So it is ethyl. Okay, for the acid part, we have 4 carbon. Okay, this part is from carboxylic acid. So 4 carbon is butanoic acid. So we get butanoate. Done. Question C. Deduce the empirical formula of compound E. So empirical formula is the simplest formula. So let's count all the CHO here. You should get C6H12O2. Okay, so simplified it, we get C3H6O. Done. Show AJ. Question D. Compound E is produced when 2 different compounds react together in the presence of catalyst. Name 2 compounds react together to form compound E. Okay, so like I said just now, the alcohol is ethanol. Okay, the acid, butanoic acid. Okay, suggest suitable catalyst. So suitable catalyst for esterification is acid. Okay, acid as catalyst, and E determine the number of unbranched ester. We have the formula of this C5H10. Okay, so unbranched ester, this one is easier. So basically we need to have at least 5C in a row. Okay, so how we find the number of unbranched ester? Like for example, the first one I have like 1 carbon for my acid. Okay, and then for my alcohol, I have 4 carbons. Okay, and the second one is like 2 carbon for acid and 3 carbon for alcohol, and then 3 carbon acid, 2 carbon for alcohol, 4 carbon for acid, 1 carbon for my alcohol. So total we have 1, 2, 3, 4 different isomers here. Okay. Question F. All unbranched ester combust completely to form carbon dioxide and water. Write the symbol equation. Okay. So we have C5H10O2. Combustion means plus O2. The product CO2H2O. Okay, and then we just have to do the balancing of equations. Okay, so if you balance correctly, you should get 2, 13, 10, 10. Okay, finish. Okay, so if you like my video, please like and subscribe to my channel, and all the best in your IG exam. I hope all of you get A star for your chemistry because it's so damn easy. Okay, see ya. Wish you guys all the best.